So you have to look online, right? Today is January 22nd. It is a B-day. The question that you have for the day is what line is opposite of the prime meridian? The do now question is asking you to tell me the latitude longitude of L. So we talked about frame of reference, something that you use as your comparison. You know this one line. And we always have to start with what piece of the coordinate system first. Are we starting with longitude first or latitude first? Thank you for raising your hand. What are we starting with first, Dominic? Good. We're starting with latitude. Why are we starting with latitude, Matthew? Yes. Because our frame of reference is the what? What are we using as our frame of reference? What are we using as our starting point? We're going to start at, you tell me we're starting at what first? Latitude. So our frame of reference is going to be this line called the 0 degrees latitude. It's also called the equator. The equator is our starting point. So from there, you have to figure out, am I going up or down? Is L above the equator or below the equator? Cantrell? It's below. So above the equator is what direction, Sarah? Yes. And below the equator is what direction, Bailey? What? Thank you. So L is below the equator. I'm sorry. L is below the equator, Juliana. So are we north or south of the equator? L is right here. South. So this is 0 and that's 10, Quaya. What is the inferred measurement of L? Well, it's going to be south. So if that's 0 and that's 10, what's in between 0 and 10? 5. So can we make a good inference that L is going to be 5? So we start with the latitude. It's 5 degrees. What is our cardinal direction going to be, Lindsay? North or south? For L, which is right here. Yes, 5 degrees south. That's one coordinate. Now I need the other coordinate, longitude. What direction do I have to look? Schneider? I have to look north because these lines extend north and south to get the number. I'm extending up, Schneider, and what is this line going to be? Yes, 30 degrees. Is this 30 degrees by itself? That would be a wrong answer. So now we have to figure out what's our frame of reference for those up and down lines. Here's my frame of reference. What is that line called? Kendrell? Good, the prime meridian. So if I extend myself in this direction, Victor, am I going east or west? This direction, which way? Good, this is all of the numbers in this direction are east. All of the numbers in this direction are west. So that's 30 what, Schneider? Excellent, 30 degrees west. So when you write L, you need to write latitude first, then longitude. If you're afraid you're going to forget, think about it this way. Latitude, longitude, alphabetical order. What word comes first in the alphabet? A. Latitude comes before longitude. Across and then down. Latitude, longitude. Are we good with this? Okay. The question of the day is which line is the opposite of the prime meridian? So let's look at the Earth. We know the Earth is not flat. It's a sphere. It's made up of how many degrees? 360 degrees. Let's take a break for a second to answer the phone. All right. Resume. Right now, I'm on the prime meridian. That's where the line is. You see it? I'm going to extend to the east. And what happens to the numbers? What happens to the numbers? You see them? They're increasing, increasing, increasing until they get to the opposite side. That's 180 degrees. I'm going to go on the other side. What happens to the numbers when I go this way? They're also increasing the further and further away I get. Can you see the line that's opposite of the prime meridian. What's the measurement? You can see the measurement right here. 180 degrees west. This line right here is significant. As we go to the east, we've already experienced the sunlight. They're ahead of us in time. When we go to the west, they're behind us. So on this line right here, this is Tuesday. But this on this side is Monday. So someplace around here, it's going to be still Monday as well. This is called your international date line. This gives us the different days. So if you look at the international date line, it's not perfectly straight like the prime meridian is. It's actually a little bit zigzag. Well, not like the little curve like that. It's a little zigzag. Anybody want to infer why it doesn't go like that? It kind of zigzags around. It goes around the country so that they don't have to split their days in half. So when you look at the globes, you're going to get a little lesson during the course of the week. You're going to look at the international date line and see. If you flew from here to here, you'd be in 2 different days. You can actually, if you didn't have a good Saturday night, fly to the west and you can do Saturday night all over again. But then when you fly back, you go into Sunday. You lose that day. So you're not really gaining any days unless you decide to move and never come home. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to draw the lines on the map. When you draw the lines, you can't draw them perfectly straight up and down with a ruler. You have to follow the curves. So let's look at this page. Everybody take that out. In this class, you're going to be using maps a lot. Maps determine climate. Maps determine the hour of the day. Maps determine temperature. You're looking at isotherms, air pressure. So we need them for weather. We need maps for astronomy. A whole bunch of different topics that we're doing. Maybe a little bit in geology too when we're looking at the different tectonic plates. All right, so it says throughout this earth science course you'll be expected to determine locations using longitude and latitude. Latitude first. Using the following graph, you're going to determine the locations based on the following information. So I want us to start off with drawing the lines. Latitude lines are parallel. They're not going to be straight, though. They're going to have a slight curve to them. So on this globe, you're going to draw the latitude line that is our frame of reference. What is the name of our frame of reference? The equator. So you're going to darken and label the equator, but you've got to be careful. Don't do it yet. I want you to darken it and label it like this. You're starting in the middle, and you're going to curve slightly up. So it's not a perfectly straight line. Why not? Why can't I use a ruler and make a perfectly straight line? What do you know about the Earth? It's a sphere. It's round, so you have to go with the curve. So you're going to label this the equator. And then we're going to go up. So you're going to label, the next line has to be a little parallel. Mine are not going to be perfect because I'm not perfect. But you're going to make your lines with a little bit of a curve to them. So when you draw them, they look and appear like they're going around the Earth, right? And then on the bottom, they're going around the Earth. And around the Earth. You have to make a few. Just to show that they're equivalent. They're going to go all the way up to the North Pole and all the way down to the South Pole. And they're going to represent every single place on the Earth. We are not going to draw them all because we're going to be here for 5,000 years. So we just draw a few to represent them. And it's like a graph. Am I counting by 10s, 20s? Most of the time, they will make each line be about 15 degrees apart. They use that frame of reference. Sometimes they use 10. Sometimes they use 30. So you have to pay attention to what the frame of reference is. I believe on this graph or this map, they use 30 as their difference. But if I'm at the equator and I go all the way up to the North Pole, I go straight up. I'm perpendicular to the equator. What is the angular distance from the equator? The North Pole's right here. What's the angular distance from the equator? It's going to be how many degrees away, Lindsay? The angular distance from the North Pole. 90 degrees north. So the question says, what is the largest latitude degree that can be measured from the equator, Lindsay? 90 degrees. You can go 90 degrees north, or we can go 90 degrees what? Don't call out, raise your hand. Dana. South. Excellent. They want you to label north and south. So start at the equator, go up, that's going to be north. Start at the equator, go down, that's going to be south. These lines determine the hours of sunlight you get. The closer you are to the North Pole in the winter, the less light you get. What do you think happens as we go to the South Pole? What do you think happens to the sunlight as we go to the South Pole, Matthew? You're going to get more light. So those lines are significant for us. We need to understand them. And we're going to be utilizing this information when we do astronomy. Okay, the next frame of reference is similar, but it's not going to go parallel across. It's going to go up and down. Somebody tell me the frame of reference that's up and down. What's it called, our line that we're going to be extending from the North to the South Pole? What's the name of that line? What's it called, John? Yes, the prime meridian. It is going to meet at the poles. But when we draw them, we start at the north and we get to the South Pole. So they're pretty simple. You're going to make them rounded as well. So start at the North Pole, go down to the south. This is our prime meridian. I don't remember. I did this in art when I was a little kid. We made pumpkins. And when you made a pumpkin, you start at the top of the circle and you curved it. And then when you want to make your pumpkin bigger, you start at the same point and you curve it again. And you start at the same point and you curve it again. Mr. Sarich, how you doing with this? Good job? Excellent. That's one side of my globe. I'm going to do the same thing. Start at the North Pole and curve to the south. Curve to the south. Curve to the south. So when you're following the lines, they're not up and down. They have to go on the natural curve of the Earth. Everything in this direction is going to be east or west. Everything this way, Juliana, is it east or west? East. Kentrell, what's the other direction? Good. And what's the largest number we can represent? Yes, sir. 180 degrees. And you could go 180 degrees to the east or 180 degrees to the west. So we're measuring from the prime meridian. And that 180 degree mark has a special name. What do we call the 180 degrees? It's called the International Date Line. I want you to write it down. International Date Line. That determines the day. Are you Monday or Tuesday? Okay. The next question, number 5, you could do by yourself with your partner. You're going to do number 5. Turn the page. Number 6, they're asking you to highlight and label the equator and the prime meridian on the map below. They want you to label north and south and east and west. And then they want you to map out these locations. So, would you like 10 minutes or 11 minutes? 11 minutes? Really? You really want more time? I think you're going to be done in 8. But let's see. Anybody done in 8 minutes will get BR $3. Anybody done in 10 will get 100 for participation. Anybody done in 11 will get 100 also. Anybody done after that will not. Okay, are you ready? Yimer. I'm supposed to say timer. You may go with your partner. Begin. What's the matter, babe? I'm coming. Let me just put the timer up. Okay, let's pause the video. Okay, you drew the latitude first, then the longitude, and you put an X for the origin. 0, 0, 0 degrees latitude, longitude. They asked you to write the way they met. On the next page was the map, which you needed to look for the locations. You also needed a highlight. So your paper should have 2 lines highlighted. And from where I'm sitting, it looks like some of you follow directions and some of you do not. When we extend over to this direction, where are we going? East or west? We're going to the east. Please write that. This line, that is our frame of reference, the long line going up and down. What is that called, Christian? This line. It is longitude, 0 degrees. It's called the prime meridian. If I start at the prime meridian, I go to the east, I am gaining time. The time passed already. If I'm going to the west, the time didn't happen yet. The west is going to happen later. Well, obviously everything's happening at the same time, but the times are different. If this is 12 o'clock in the afternoon, everything here is after 12 and everything on the other side is before 12. On the 0 degrees latitude line, what is that called? Our frame of reference, 0 degrees latitude. This is called the equator. Everything above the equator is north. And everything below the equator is south. We know this. We know the angular distance is 90 degrees. So if you look, we go 0, 30, 60, 90. This whole line is 90 degrees. Who wants to come up here and put a letter A where the Great Lakes are? You need to go 42 degrees north and 82 degrees west. So where do we start? At the origin, go up 42 degrees. You want to make sure that you're curving with the earth, natural curve. So if that's 30, that's 60. What's in between? That's probably 45. So where's 42? Above or below? Obviously, it's going to be a little bit below. 42 is under 45, sweetheart. We're going this way. And what is this, 87 they wanted? 87, we're going to curve a little bit. And the Finger Lakes, so the Great Lakes are right here. This is letter A. Somebody come up here and put B up. Come on, Dana, do B. B is going to be the South Pole. Where is the South Pole located? Tell me. Come up here. My love. Lewis, let's go. Well, I'm going to help you. Come on. What does it tell you, the South Pole? Where is the South Pole located? It tells you. 90 degrees what? Read it on your paper. South. And what is the longitude? 0. So once you find the point, do you have to move to the right or the left? No, you stand 0. So here's your origin. If I'm going south, which direction am I going? Up or down? Down. That's 30. That's 60. What's this number? 90 degrees south. Where is 90 degrees south and 0? Put a little letter B. Where you think it is? This is 90 degrees. Look. Where is the 0 mark for longitude? Yeah, put it right here. Put a little dot. X or whatever. Good. 0 degrees longitude, right? Mm-hmm. But 90 degrees south. Do you understand? Good. All right, come up here, Sarah, and do India. Hustle. That's good. That's why I'm here to help you. 21 degrees north. You're starting at the equator. Are we going up or down? If I'm starting here, am I going up or down? 21 degrees north. Up. This is 0. That's 30. This is what? 15. Where's 21? Above this or below it? Above this. So this is going to be maybe here. Does that sound right? Go across. This is where we're starting then. Now I want to go which direction? It says 82 east. Which direction is 82? Where is east? To the right or the left? To the right. That's 30. That's 60. That's 90. What do you think 82 is? What is this line right going to be? It's probably 75. So where's 82? Does that sound right? And we're going to hit about there. Does that look good to you? Does that look like it meets? Yeah. Okay, put a line. Put a dot. What do we get? 21 north, 82 east. Mm-hmm. Where it met. Right here. Yeah, put it.
What am I putting?
The letter that's next, C.
Oh, I didn't know what letter it was.
Good. Excellent. What's the next one? Brazil. 14 south. Quiet, come up. Which direction are we going? We always start from the origin, the equator. Am I going up or down? It says 14 south. Am I going up or down? Okay, start from the equator. Go down. You want to go 14 degrees down. Look, if that's 0 and that's 30, what is this? Probably 15. So 14 is going to be a little bit above it, right? Okay, so we're probably, what do you think, right here? Now, which direction am I going? It says I want to go 54 west. Where's 54 west? To the left. Good job. And if that's 30, that's 60. Where's 54? Maybe in the, yep. What do you think about that? Does that look good? Put an X. And then what is your number going to be? Not number. Your letter is going to be D. Okay. What do you know about England, Kanye? What did we say England's historic for? What's located directly through England, France, a little bit of yes, the prime meridian. So England should be on the prime meridian. Is that accurate? It says 51 degrees north, 0 degrees. Yeah, come up here and find the mark for England. That's going to be E. You should be putting yours down there, Miss Sarah, Jasmine, on the video. $51 north. So we're starting at the equator and we're going which direction? North. Do we have to move left or right? No, because she's on the prime meridian. So what do you think 51 degrees north is? If that's 45-ish, 51 degrees. Yep, right there. Good. And that's England, and that's going to be what letter? E. Come to Australia for me, Chloe. Oh, yeah, let's go, Bailey. To Australia, letter E. It's 25 south. Are we going up or down? Are we going up or down, Bailey? South. Down. Okay.